Hey guys, this is me again, continuing the work on Hackbase, our hackathon participation platform. If you haven't seen the first part, go back, watch that first. This is essentially now us having prompted our idea, giving it some design guidance, and getting a very first version that is not polished yet. Here, for example, you see misalignment or maybe some functionalities, not what I exactly need. I don't know how the onboarding is looking alike, the logo is wrong. And now we enter this second stage. Once you see, the agent went generally into the right direction, it got the categories that you discussed, like the ability for me to manage the team, to work on the schedule, to manage mentors, pitches, profiles. You ideally show this to someone and say like, hey, what don't you like? If it's the completely wrong direction, don't feel bad going back to the drawing board and starting all over again, rather than just trying to force something that is really didn't go in the right direction into what you want to do. But this is very much, I would say right now, a solid 6 out of 10 experience, and that kind of meets my expectations for a first shot. It even exceeded my expectations in some senses, but the next phase after version 1 is tweaking of individual flows and some general parts. I'll start with some general stuff, and then we go through things like authentication and see how far we get today. So here on the left-hand side, again, we got our chat. We can choose the model. I stick with Opus 5, even though it was quite slow working with it. So expect faster speeds on Sonnet or Base 1 or in the auto mode. Once you have the general design and infrastructure right, it's also easier to switch to a cheaper, faster model since the most important decisions have been made. But let me polish a little bit more before I do this. So what do I see here? I just consume what I visually see. I like the colors. I like the typography. I like this idea of like a home screen. I like that I'm kind of logged in and that it created some example data in here. But I don't see the full experience because, for example, I haven't proposed or joined a team. So this is the team overview. Let me try to propose a team. Let's call it Hackbase. We are building a hackathon participant management platform in Cool. And the tech stack is going to be Base44 predominantly. And we're going to be in the normal AI builder stack. Okay, we are closed. We are not looking for team members, and we are not going to pitch on Sunday. So let's save that. Let's see if all of this functionality works. So now I have my team here. I can edit it, which is good. I can add more tech to it. But I don't have much more tech. I keep it simple with Base44. I can go back to the teams and I hopefully see myself here. But when I go to the pitches, I shouldn't see myself here. In the AI builders, no, there is no hackathon here because I didn't check the mark. So some of the base functionality seems to be working. How did that change the home screen? It didn't recognize. Let me try to update. You can just refresh here to see if it now recognized that I am now part of a team. Let's see, Hackbase. Maybe we need to explain that the team leader is also a member and that the team leader should see the team here on the home screen as well. So you just see simple things like that, and you just start making some adjustments. So let's start making adjustments to the home screen. I tried joining a team and I created one. So I became the leader of the team called Hackbase, but I don't see it on my home screen. So maybe leaders are not associated, or something with the system of associating the user here with the team is not working on the home screen. Please fix that. And while you're at it, I would really like it if the counter at the top of the home screen with the days, hours, minutes, and seconds, that the numbers and the labels would be horizontally aligned within those boxes. It looks a bit off right now. So you are going to get a feeling of making like individual changes versus like a row of changes. In my experience, especially with the larger models, it is advisable to do many changes at once, but just be aware that you check everything that was supposed to be changed, that it actually changed. So why? Because doing it individually will consume more messages being sent between you and Base44, and it also simply takes longer, and it can easily get multiple things done at once. So another thing is here, the setup, no track. There is no track assigned here, no team. Give it a chance to fix it because every team is associated to a track, and now this should be aligned as well. So just building this already gives me a lot of ideas. Other ideas often come from people that I've already talked to. So I talked to Christina about this, to Lucy and Paul, who have been planning the hackathon with me, and they gave me already some productive feedback on this, and I'm building this in as well. So now it's finished. Wonderful. I didn't do what I wanted it to do, like horizontally centering it, but it found a good solution for this. We can check if this is still working on mobile. Maybe the seconds need to be kicked out on mobile, but I like it. I'll do the mobile optimization at some later point, which is very important for me because every participant is running around on their phone, asking questions. So that will happen in one fell swoop. Now, the team Hackbase is in here. I can edit it. It's associated the team to the correct track, but not the person. Again, little things that aren't done here. I can edit my profile, and there I don't have a chance to do any of that. I don't like that it's first name and last name combined, but we'll get there. Let's go back home. Now track, edit, and mode. Okay, let's talk about that next. Let's first give it feedback about what it did before. Thank you for the change. I now see the countdown better, and I also see the Hackbase as my associated team now on the homepage. But next, on the element above, where it says like your setup, it says no track. But the profile doesn't give me an option to choose the track, which is fine, I guess, but it should be in there also. The team that I'm in kind of forces me to switch or confirm that track. So me creating the Hackbase team or joining it, which is clearly associated with the track 1, should have set my profile to track 1. And all of these events, let's say I change my team or I disband my team or whatever, should also correspond to track changes. So let's fix that next. Also, while we're at it on mobile, can you please hide the second counter? Let's see if it understands that. Whenever I work with tools, I kind of want to see like, hey, what can I get away with? What can I not get away with? And you will learn that as well, how much you can ask it to do. And I would lean towards asking it a lot, daring it to do more than you expect it to be able to do. You will get to the point where it's too much, but look what we got from a planning session, a design system, and just asking it to build it. It is completely insane that this is like almost a one-shot experience. So now we see it's doing changes. It's reloading the preview. I also like this loading screen a lot. I don't know if that is from Base44 or in the web app. Still no track associated, but let's give it some time. What else do we see here? Coming up. I like that it's showing the next appointments. It definitely needs a date associated to it. What happens when I click here? I get switched to the schedule. Makes total sense. We updated the schedule, so I'll be able to inform that one. Let's go back home. I think with a complete onboarding, which we will probably do next. So the whole onboarding and sign up process is key to me. This will not be an issue anymore. But it's good to discover it here, because imagine somebody like changes a track. I wanted to change everything in the profile along with this. So if you want to put anything in the pipeline, let's say it's still planning the tracks, you can already tell it stuff to change. For example, I don't like this idea of a full name without a separate first and last name, a headline, and a short bio. I think a first name, last name, short bio would be better. Let's also try this vibe coding, traffic, generation, conversion optimization. This looks very nice. This works well. Let's add my LinkedIn profile here as well. Connect with me if you like. I just want to test, does this work? Do I have to save the profile or is it auto-saved? All right, let's do some updates to the profile. I don't like that we just have a full name field. I want clear separations with first and last name. If this has already happened, so on the back end, just replace the headline with last name and full name with first name, plus the short bio. That is enough for me for the details. And what I'm missing is a profile picture. I want like a nice round profile picture, and I want a greeting to say something like, hey, Ben, and I don't need this headline stuff anymore, and give me the ability to upload a profile, or if we later implement like some kind of Google sign up experience, that this is auto used from that source. I don't know if it's possible to also take it from LinkedIn or GitHub, but let me know about that, or if we should just have a little upload field. I don't want it to build like a fancy LinkedIn or GitHub integration now. That is not the goal. Let's still try to keep things simple. All right. One more thing that I want to change if something takes longer is the logo. And the logo is in the design system. From there, we have to download it and associate it here. So how do we do this? So open a new Base44 tag, go to your design system, and there you can add a new logo. In my case, I want to generate a logo with a stylized H for Hackbase, stylized H or letter H. And we will just give it a couple of spins to save the new logo. And this logo will show up on more places than you would think. I love this. But this was a lucky shot. I really like it. Let's save it. Let's kick this one out and let's download this one. Let's first save it, see if we can get to it, save the image if we need to. Maybe we don't need that at all. And we can now go to the general app settings. So if you go into your apps and go to the app settings, you can edit the logo. And you can upload it, and I'll use the logo that was just generated. Very nice. Gotta be honest. I did this a couple of times before. I wasn't that lucky. Okay, it's successfully uploaded. Let's refresh. I never believe it until I see it like fully updated. Maybe we can zoom in a lot more, like this here. That. Okay, much better. Social image and this kind of stuff I'll do later. It can be public. We can add the platform badge, but we don't need to right now. Authentication is going to be started first with email password. I wanted to check that out. And we're going to configure Google at some point. Use default Base44 OAuth or use a custom OAuth. No, I want to start with the default for now. Look, it even has Apple, Facebook, and Microsoft login. And I love this idea of just saying like, come on, just send this to chat, let the chat deal with it, and you can see it. So here is some approval required. Sync tracks with Teams. Yes, let's approve that. And I kind of like move through the app. I don't try to be too systematic in the beginning. I try to get rid of the rough edges. I would say the most consistent thing I'm doing is I start with the start screen and do the navigation and the footer in the beginning. I don't do all details, but for example, here it still needs to update the logo and it needs to update those links. For example, I require to have some legal links down here, and I'm going to provide those in a second as well. Okay, so this is still hustling. So this one is now left over. This should know what we are doing. But you see, it's okay. It's not highly recommended to have too many tabs open, but it works. So here it sees some problem. As an admin, you skipped onboarding. So creating Hackbase never made you an event record, copy team tracks. So this would probably not have been a problem for a normal user, but you never know. And you give it feedback like that. Okay, this is now done. Now it continues here. Let's close this one so we don't overwhelm this thing. Is the counter aligned? 8 hours, 11 minutes. This is, for example, this looks like a different time zone than this one. I wonder which one is correct. This one starts at 1600 or 1630, correct? And this one is in the wrong time zone. So that's fine. It's a good thing to observe. Okay, so this seems to be stuck now. There's one message in the queue, and we want that message to start. to get going. With Claude, I can often just say like continue and it gets it. So let's give it a stop. That often also triggers like the next message, but in this case it didn't. Maybe it wasn't too smart of me to have too many tabs open in parallel. So let's give it some feedback. All right, thank you for clarifying that. Please keep that in mind in the future, that if I require changes that are just not well represented right now for admins, that you tell me. So next, I want you to update the profile. I prefer in the details just to have first name, last name, and short bio, no headline anymore. I also would like you to build in a profile picture upload. I really like round profile pictures. And here we are already. There's the profile picture. It says hi, hopefully first name and not just Ben. Let's say Joe. So changing the profile data from full name to first and last is a database change, and it's good that it's asking me to approve database changes. So let me try to upload a profile picture here. Let's just look for Ben Sofiani. Somewhere in my downloads folder, I have my picture. I use a real one to see like, hey, how does it look like? Does it meet my expectation? Okay, that's good. It saved everything. Let's add something in here. Founder of Pirate Skills. Save. Now, if I'm in the team area, does it show profiles? No, it does not. I'm not sure that is strictly necessary, but at some point I would definitely like to use this also in the admin area to make people more recognizable. So why did I want to change this database profile from full name to first name and last name? If I want to consistently make sure that I just speak to people with the first name to be more informal, I need this to be separated. There are complicated names and people put like emojis in there or have double names, and you just want to make sure that you're addressing people correctly. For example, in emails that you send them, and use only the last name when you need it. So what I would also like to see are things like my email address that I registered with. So this is done. What else do I want? The photo upload feature works nicely, but get rid of the JPEG or PNG subtext under the button. Also, once a photo is uploaded, I don't want to see the big primary call to action button to change my photo. I think the hovering over the profile image is plenty. Then I'm missing an email field in the profile view. It can be read only, that is fine, but just so it's clear which email I am here logged in with. And also on the right hand side, I see something about the track and the pitching. This should be associated with the team rather than with a personal profile. That would make more sense to me in that area. Are there any other improvements you would recommend that we make in the profile view to fulfill our goals? So what I also find very helpful is actually having a back and forth conversation and getting suggestions from the AI, what to add. So now that I see teams, I definitely also want to have a participant page where all participant profiles are listed so people can get to know each other better. If they don't want that, we might have a privacy option, but until a user requires that from me, I won't have it in here. So other improvements I'd suggest, if you want to show complete your profile nudge when bio skills are empty, surface your current team as a link in the sidebar and add a live preview of how your profile looks to other users. Damn, I like all of these ideas. The only thing that I want to change to what we already have is, since the email field is not editable, I would also show it as more of a inactive state and just put it below the bio and explicitly have a label for the bio, first name and last name, not just for email. That is the least important one. I accepted all of its suggested changes, and which will take it a little bit to work through it, which will give us a chance to look around and see what else we want to do. We want to exchange this logo in the header and the footer. We probably want to change that subline, and we want to give it some legal text down here, just so nobody is suing us and has some contact data. So what do you do about things like that? Like if you are building this product and it's not like your main business, it's in my opinion, totally fine if you reuse the contact data from your main business. For me, this is this page and this page. There is the full contact and imprint data, and there's a full privacy policy we use also for pirate skills. And it's very clear that data that is going to be stored in that thing is also going to land in at pirate skills. So it's not too bad. I would need to add Base44 to this as well, but I think otherwise that should be decent and better than nothing. All right, it's now completed and we can now make the changes. So, but let's first check what is going on. Here's how others see you. Founder of pirate skills, the skill. I like this. 3 skills listed. The event, team lead, recruiting. This is wrong. I said I didn't want to recruit, but we'll get there. What happens if I click on participation mode? I'm set solo or closed team. I have an idea looking for people. Oh, this is amazing. And then I have an event history of the events that I joined. I don't want that anymore. Okay, so let's give it some changes and let it do some things in one fell swoop. All right, I like your changes, but here are a couple of further changes. The event history, I don't want to see in the lower right of the profile. I don't think we need that for users, but there are some other general things I would like you to change. In the header, I don't like the logo. Please take the logo from our design system and also add that to the footer. And to the right of the logo in the footer, I want you to write the following sentence. And there we're just going to type built with R by Startplatz and pirate skills. And we can link to them, but let's not overcomplicate things. Also exchange the 3 links in the footer against 2 legal links, one called contact, one called privacy. Just give it the URLs to those and let's let it hit off. Now this completes for me the main change I wanted to make, like in the header and the footer, but there are still many things. Let me show you that this navigation doesn't work really well. Here it has a burger menu, but it kind of doesn't work. And we'll have to figure that out. And I also don't like that there's a huge sign out button at the top. Like this would be the primary call to action. Maybe I stick it to the footer. I like it when there's a huge sign in button when you're not signed in, but not a huge sign out button. So it got rid of the history, it did the change here, and it added this. It didn't get the logo right. Let's give it one more refresh. Hackbase, it just used the... Actually, this is not bad to just have the typography here instead of that. But that logo we should get rid of. But we can actually also provide the logo. So you can always upload files from your computer. But this is actually not the correct one since it's way too zoomed out. I have to figure that out later. All right, this looks good. Let's also remove the logo in the lower left on the footer and just start with the sentence built with R. Also spell pirate skills in capital letters. I also think that the contact and privacy links are too big, and as the leftmost link in the footer left to contact, I would like to have the sign out option. So I don't like that you put like a huge sign out button in the header. Let's put that into the footer as a link click action to actually sign out. So I always ask myself, what is the primary action I want users to take? On a profile image, I wanted to complete the profile. I already completed it. Maybe if I hadn't completed it, if I do the next test, it will nudge me, and that is the primary action. On the homepage, like, what do you want people to do? This is always the question. Only thing that I really am not happy about is this navigation, so let's solve that. The navigation bar has many items, which is all right on desktop, but ensure that on medium and small devices, a proper burger menu is actually working. I just see the icon, but it doesn't have anything in it. On mobile, I just want to see the burger menu, no explicit items. Now we took one user experience, which is the homepage, polished a little bit there. We went into the profile, polished a little bit more there, polished the footer and the navigation to our liking. Now that is a good wrap we can make, because in the next video, I would like to make sure that the sign up and onboarding experience is excellent next. And I've already have so many more ideas of what to build and change, but I need to get the basics right first. And I don't know in which state they're currently in. So, this looks good. Do a final test here. Now, burger menu is not working yet. And we will not stop today until this one is working. So there's a burger menu, but it forgot that it needs to hide the other item when the burger menu is being called. So let's just give it that feedback. All right, the burger menu shows, but you forgot to hide the normal menu items when you show the burger menu. This can happen. So the home screen, I kind of will optimize at the end when everything is done, when the schedule is as I wanted, when I have decided that people can book mentors and commit to certain sessions in the schedule. Remember, the goal of all of this is building something for us event organizers that makes our life easier, and the value for your customers is getting better. Something that we wouldn't have been able to do like 2 years ago. Pre-AI, nobody would have put in the time and the money to do this kind of work here. But now it's very worth it. And platforms like Base44 make this particularly easy for us. That's the dashboard. Maybe you can also get an idea of how much I have used this tool to get this far, but I wanted to finish up. Here we go. There's our burger menu. Wonderful. I like this. You see like how we got from this one-shot version to something actually presentable and publishable. Only thing that is definitely missing is the sign up and onboarding before I press this publish button. But I could publish it already for internal sharing, but I want to ensure that I got the right domain and everything for it, and then I can publish it properly. All right, I think that is it for today. Next time we do authentication and onboarding. See you then. Bye-bye.